And so now, from that time, I start to realize I am alone.
Ooh, Kendi, this is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I start to realize I'm alone.
Wow.
Actually, I realize I didn't process that one. I haven't processed that one yet. Anyway.
If you're catching us here, you need the context of this whole story because it's about to get deep, but you need to understand it from the beginning. So go and watch this thing from the first episode. We're having an amazing conversation right now with Kendi. Where we left off, it was cliffhanger.
Oh, okay.
It was cliffhanger vibes. Yeah. Because you've just told us this beautiful life that you've been living, and your dad he's about to check into this new thing called IT. Continue the story.
Yes. So my father sold us the vision.
The dream.
The dream. And we are sold. We are bought in. We are with him. I think he actually went in the same year I went to boarding. I think he went in 90 and the whole of 90. Up to 91, November, which is when schools used to close.
So does he fly out? Does he go to...
No, he went to Mombasa Polytechnic to do a diploma in computer science. Yes.
So he leaves you? He lives home?
He lives home.
Okay.
Then he goes to Mombasa Poly to do computer science. And so my mom struggles through the end of 1990 and the full of 1991, maintaining us in Embu, we know what we call the city, as in the modern town. It's good, and life was good. And also my friends, they are all there, because these are the friends I'd come with from St. Michael. Some we had met in St. Ursula and all of that. Then in 91, they announced that we are struggling, we need to move up country. And up country is, we are living the suburbs of Embu. We are going to the village. And village at the time, it was fun during the holidays, because we used to go during the holidays. But the context of living in the village, let me tell you about our village. It was about, it's still my village to now. 2 kilometers or thereabouts from the tarmac road, down a dusty road. Most of the houses at the time were mud houses. Those who had timber houses were doing well. The particular house we were going to, which is the one that was the country home, which we used to go to on holiday, which seemed good at the time because it was a cottage, was a mbao house. You know, the mbao house, what's that black thing they paint because of ants?
Tar.
I think it's tar,
yeah,
to keep off the ants and everything, with blue doors. Simple house. There is no tap water. There is no electricity. And if you want water, you have to go to the river, which is down the hill. And that is when we move in November 1991. I am 11 at the time.
Wow.
Richie, I hated the village. So the life I had loved so far up to that time, the friends I had had, then me, I don't even know Kimeru so well at the time, because what we speak in Embu, either English or Swahili. And what we even speak in St. Ursula, the same, English or Swahili. So I stand out as a sore thumb in the village. So I looked forward. If there's any other time I was glad I was in boarding school.
It's this time.
It is that time. Because all I needed to do was be there for the holidays, but then go back. And then the good thing, my boarding school was also far. So I was a child who schooled in the best school away. So I was the child who's doing very well. So I go through class 7, but then I realized, I think it affected me more than I thought.
I can imagine.
Yes. that destabilized me more than I thought. And for a moment there, I was not happy with my parents, but I didn't tell them. Because what are you telling your parents? That you... And I think I even tried. But then, because of the pressures of life, now in hindsight, I understand. My mom, remember I said earlier, my mom engaged me in life. We were partners. We worked together. But now she has so many pressures. She has younger children. That's my siblings. She has to keep the family afloat. She had no time. The husband is not there.
Yeah.
She had no time to entertain my mind. And my mind works over time. As in, it's the one for let's sit, let's have a conversation, even as a child. But she didn't have that time now to do that with me. So I sat on it. And I started, I say I'm an introvert, but I think that's where it started.
Oh.
So I started to now rely more on myself, or in myself, than externally. And then I also realized, so then, we didn't have internet, we didn't have phones, as in mobile phones. Yeah. So all the friends, the contacts I left, my friends who were from Embu, who were my neighbors, who we had grown together with. Now I learned the only other friends I can make are the ones in St. Ursula. So now, by the time I'm going back in 1992, or showing up in 1992 as the class 7 or whatever, I'm showing up more needy. And you know, when you show up needy, there's how you show up.
Yep.
Or I'm showing up as a person whose needs need to be met extra. So it was actually harder then to make, because now I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that connection.
You're a needy friend.
Yes, I'm a needy friend.
And you don't even know that you're a needy friend.
Yes, I don't know that. So it becomes very hard to make friends.
In fact, you repel friends.
Correct. You repel friends. But one particular incident I remember in class 7, because we used to do chores, you know, because you're in boarding school, so chores were rotating. And if you were rotating to do, you know, in the dining, because seats would be arranged, I think we used to sit 8 of us. And at class 7 is when the chores would start, actually, because earlier, those who were in class 5 and 6, you didn't do much chores. So at class 7, would be given the chores to do, like cleaning the table, clearing the table when people have finished, when lunch is finished and everything. But what would happen, tablecloths, some people never used to rinse them well. So it would be such a hard time if you're cleaning, if you're the one whose duty that week to clean your table. And so I remember, Annie, I forgive you. I can't remember her name. I think she was Leah, yeah. I remember the clothes. She came and gave me an idea. Me, I didn't even know. She came and told me, you know, we keep getting very dirty clothes. So let's do this, me and you, because you're cleaning, we were neighboring tables. Say our table was number 8, and I think it was number 8, and hers was number 7 or number 33. Anyway, we were neighboring tables. So she came and told me, what we can do, we can pick 2 cloths, then we hide them. You see where we put those sufurias or whatever they put them. If we hide them there, no one will see them. Then I went and hid the cloth. See, now she's giving me an idea. I'm like, oh, that is so brilliant. So that when it's our time to clean, we have a clean cloth. We're the ones keeping it hygiene and everything. So now the matron, after we've cleaned, she comes and calls, she lines up those who are doing duty. And she comes and says, those who are cleaning, where are the tablecloths going? They are reducing and everything. Does anyone know where they are, or has any of you been trying to hide them? What I didn't know is that it was a setup.
Wow.
So Leah set me up. She went, and that's why I'm saying, Leah, I forgive you, because I don't remember many things, but this one I remember. She told me we go hide. Then she went and told the matron, there are people who are hiding, and Kendi is one of them. So me, I'm there, I'm looking at her, I'm looking at her for a signal. Are we saying or are we not saying? Then she's like, apana. Then she said, but Kendi, have you not hidden? Aki, that hurt me, Richie. It hurt me because I was like, I trusted you. You're my friend. Why did you do that? Why didn't you even just tell me? Then I would have removed it. I asked you so I don't expose you. As in, I was trying to cover your back. For me, that was the first introductory to the world that you can't trust everyone.
With also the added trauma of change from home.
Correct.
So now here you're coming with a need for more companion.
Yes.
And then now you get stabbed in the back. So that stab comes with much more pain had you not had the hole.
Yes.
Or the appearing hole. Wow.
And so now from that time, I start to realize I am alone.
Ooh, Kendi, this is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I start to realize I'm alone.
Wow.
Actually, I realize I didn't process that one. I haven't processed that one yet. Anyway, so I start to realize I'm by myself. But it's a slow progression to it. And then, without knowing, I start to, it's the very jolly, very outgoing girl starts to be as in suppressed.
That's where now the nice sugar-coated word introverted comes in.
Yes.
But it is trauma.
Yes.
That's now bringing in, that's making you cocoon.
Yes.
Hey, you know, I can imagine your dad was going to to IT to better his family. It's a good thing that he's doing. But that means pressure, because you don't go to do school and instantly get a new job.
Yes.
That means pressure.
Yes.
Your mom, who's your bosom buddy, receives that pressure. And to keep her family afloat, she's got to do what she's got to do. Even if it means, and right now what she's got to do is take you guys to the village. But that change now affects your life in this manner. Hey, okay, that's, hey, Kendi.
And then it starts to show up in my schoolwork.
Ah, come on.
Yes, it does. So while I used to be top 3, because we were 3 streams, I used to at least be top 5 or up to number 7 in our stream. Actually, I would say many times I was top 5 in my class. And across top 5, so across, I'm usually at the top 12 in the year. In the year, yes. It starts to show up, so that by the time class 7 is ending, and now we are doing the final exam, which is the exam that sets what your index number is. So you know those exams, we will do them so that it sets what the index number is.
Because you're going into class 8.
Because we are going into class 8. By the time we are doing that, I'm number 28. And in the
whole year, okay.
And I'm like, and I remember looking at it and I'm like, now, number 28. When these people are marking, would they not even wonder, what does this mean? And if I do number 28, what does that even mean for me, how I score in KCP? So by the time I'm going to class 8, I'm going with that notion of that understanding. But then I'm like, you know what? It's class 8. I need to do KCP. Just focus. Just do what needs to be done.
Do you have any goals at this point?
I needed to get to Kendi High School. I needed to get, actually, at that point, all I needed to do is get to a good high school. That's what I had told myself. And the good high school, so my selections were Kenya High. So I was shooting for Kenya High. Then I was shooting for Kilungu, the Precious Bloods, the Kilungu one, because Kilungu was in Eastern. And then my third choice was going to be Kendi, because Kendi was a provincial, but then it's in Embu. And
Kendi is the one where...
No, yes, so Kendi, the high school version now. So I was like, because you know the reason you wanted to go to Kendi for the boarding school is so that you make it easy for you to get to Kendi there.
I get.
The high school, because most of the people who came from
primary could go into high school.
Went into high school. It was the easiest path too. But then remember, when I didn't get to Kendi, one of the things I told myself, you guys don't understand. You thought Kendi is the ultimate. Let me show you. Me, I'm going to go to Kenya High. So that's how I started to shoot for Kenya High. Then I said, if I don't, because you know, the national schools, they would only pick the first 2 people or 3 people in a district to populate the classes. As in, they would pick of the selected anyway. Then, because then the others would either be filled with Nairobi or something.
Yes.
But then I said, at least Kilungu will pick another maybe 5 of the people who've chosen in Eastern Province as well.
Okay.
But at worst case, I was like, I need to be able to get into Kenya.
I get. At this time, have you gone to Nairobi?
To Nairobi?
Yeah.
For what?
You've never been to Nairobi
No.
from
No. As in, I came from Embu to Shags. There was no Nairobi. Where is Nairobi
like
coming in? No, no.
So you've been in Embu your whole life,
Yes.
up until this point where we're talking, where you're now about to enter class 8.
Yes.
Nairobi, you only hear from your classmates.
Of course, I hear from my classmates when we sit and
TV is not even an option now. Is electricity even an option? Did you have electricity at that place?
Yes, the school we did.
No, not school, home.
No, of course not.
So there's no TV.
There's no TV. There's nothing.
Wow. Hey, Kendi, you've come from far.
Is that fine? Yes.
You've come from far. You are a testimony and a 3/4. Okay, let's continue this story. So now, index 28.
Yes,
I can understand
28.
your goals. Your goals are Kenya High is ultimate. That's the
Yes,
one where
it's ultimate. But worst, the
worst case.
list is that you Kenny people who, because we didn't have KA, Goja, we will meet in that Kenny. You will see.
So now you get into class 8.
I get into class
Actually,
8.
before even you get into class 8, so what happens when you go home?
The holidays.
Yes.
Yes. So the holidays, you know, they were shorter. We used to have what? A month? I think in between was a month, and then maybe 2 months. I can't remember how the holidays were. Anyway, the shorter holidays were fine because I wasn't doing so much. Actually, no, they were not. I have a mark here. I don't know if you can see it. This is a mark of the village. This was welcome to the village, Kendi.